What's up, crew? Greg here. And in this video, I want to talk about the ingredients to upselling your client. Now, the reason why we upsell clients is to really increase our lifetime value. Taking an existing customer and turning them into a repeat customer is a lot easier and costs less than having to acquire a new client each and every month. So a couple things. I mentioned earlier this week that having something to upsell clients into is beneficial because it allows you to really insulate your costs for the cost of paid traffic, allows you to either add and or increase monthly recurring revenue, and also the ability to take client success and stack that into another compounding client success, like have them solve one problem and then solve more. So what I wanted to kind of share is what we talk about in our Academy program, which is the Upsell Flow. And this is kind of the ingredients, if you will, to make up the entire process of knowing what to upsell and how to actually go into the process of increasing that LTV. So 5 key principles that I want to have you to understand first, and some pitfalls that we need to understand as well. First key principle in upselling clients is that you need to define the fit. What I mean by this is that oftentimes I see people sell one thing, and then in order to keep that client around, they then take any client or take any request. So it's almost like you sell this one thing and then you go into a retainer and a client A asks you to do a bunch of custom stuff, but then you have another client that you go into a retainer coming out of your front end and then they get custom stuff. And so you kind of end up in the same position that a lot of people find themselves anyway when having retainers, is that each and every client is now doing and requiring custom work. So just like when we specialize and we have our core offer, which is for a specific person with a specific problem, we want to have that person come out of that core offer and need something specific so that we sell them something on the back end that is also specialized and has boundaries. So we have to define the fit. Number 2, that means we need to listen before building. So you're going to serve a bunch of clients. We had our foundations program and we delivered that for over a year and a half, listening and understanding where people were at when they finished foundations to identify what does the majority of people that complete our first offer need next, before we ever designed what that was, which fundamentally means you need to delay gratification. The biggest problem that a lot of people have is they're just selling too many things and it creates operational drag inside their business. So get really good at delivering the first thing. And yes, that means you probably will leave some money on the table, thus delaying gratification. But the intel and the information and knowledge that you learn from serving those people is going to help you better create the back end. And so you're going to gather feedback from clients that are quote unquote graduating or completing your initial core offer. So when you're done serving a client on your core offer, we should be understanding, what are their needs next? What problems do they have? Where do they want to get to? And then the last principle for kind of upselling people is to really always be pre-selling, always be upselling. So when clients come into our world, even when we're onboarding them, we're already making comments about the next sale, about the next program, about the next offer. And so when we're coaching our foundations clients, it's not uncommon for us to share wins from people inside of Academy because we're planting seeds that Academy exists and solves these next problems. And so when someone comes to us with a problem in foundations that we can answer and then say, hey, look, like when this happens, you're going to find yourself having this in a couple months from now. That's actually what we do in Academy and what insert client name from Academy is doing, right? And so we're always planting seeds for our next sale, even in delivery of the first thing. So those are kind of the 5 key principles. Now, a couple pitfalls I see people make when upselling is 1, putting everything you do in your back end offer, like go from, hey, we used to do everything because we're generalists. Now we're going to hop back in and still offer them custom everything. Like don't put everything you do into your back end. It should still have a desired outcome. Some people define their back end too soon, meaning they're so hungry for keeping the client that they start selling client A into a back end client B, and each of those clients actually need something different. So we're trying to define it too soon. Also thinking you have to have a backend. I know plenty of businesses that don't have a backend that do 7 figures, multiple 7 figures before they ever even designed a backend. And backend doesn't always mean ascension. It could mean continuity. The other one is being too selective early on. I think sometimes even if you can get a couple clients to pilot your new upsell, we'll give you more information on how to refine that for the next client. And the last one is just waiting till the end of the first engagement to sell the next. Like I said, we need to be pre-selling that all the way through delivery. So that being said, here are some of the upsell ingredients that I think you need to think about. First and foremost, we probably need to understand our product. Like, what is the thing that we're upselling them into? And the second thing is then having a process for actually making the upsell. I'll talk about that in a second. And then the pre-selling piece, like, well, where and when and how do we pre-sell? So these are kind of the three core ingredients: product, process, and pre-sell, that we need to focus on. Now, in the beginning stages, when it comes to your product, well, the product is going to be non-existent. So we kind of need to start defining what that is. And it's okay that it is, this says, sorta defined. You might have a clear understanding of where the next outcome is, but not necessarily sure exactly what the client's going to need to get there. And you actually work with them a little bit higher touch to get the first wave of clients to that outcome, so that you can define the curriculum, define the implementation path of serving those clients, so that it's dialed in for the next wave of clients. When it comes to the process, there are things that we need to understand: is who are we going to upsell? Because not everybody that goes through your first engagement should be upsold. If you do this right, there's going to be a certain percentage of people that you realize you wouldn't even want to continue working with, and you've now filtered them out from an ongoing engagement. I talk to so many agency owners that are like in retainers with people that they hate working with, but like they sold them into a retainer with a 12-month contract. They feel obligated to deliver. By having a core offer front-end engagement, oftentimes you create and can train clients on how to be better for ongoing work. So once we know who they are, we need to have an invitation process that we focus on. And then also we need to know how to have that conversation, the talk. When in the delivery of the first engagement do we start actually having the conversation? You know, we've been pre-selling, planting seeds this whole time, but what do we do on that call to upgrade them? That's the next piece. On the pre-sell side, there's stages of pre-sell. Like I said, there's the before, and the before phase is module 0, interaction 0, which is really the sales process. So when you're selling someone into your first engagement, you actually start pre-selling the second engagement at the same time. So we often say, once you achieve these three things is when we're going to talk about Academy. And in Academy, we're going to take you from here to there. And so here's how that also works. But like for right now, all we need to do is we need to worry about this first thing. So there's pre-selling from the before phase. Then there's obviously the during, the execution and delivery of the front end engagement. This is where we give sneak peeks of what's happening inside that program. We bring in guests from our Academy program to maybe answer questions for people in that first engagement. And we even have invited people to Academy specific events, if you say have events. And then there's the after piece, which is that graduation call, the exit interview from the first engagement, where you get to say, hey, here's where are you at now? Where do you want to get to from here? Oh, by the way, we have this program. Remember, we've talked about it, that solves this problem. So those are the core ingredients: process, product, and pre-sell, that we focus on when we think about how to move a client from our first initial engagement into the next engagement, with the intention of not only serving them to the next level and taking them even further, but also increasing the lifetime value of that client, because the longer you can keep clients, the better. A lot of people in this space talk about how to get 15 to 25 clients a month, but most of those people don't talk about how to keep them. But having the business model designed correctly to be able to upsell people and continue on that journey is really critical. Now, if you're watching this and you want my notes, go ahead and comment notes below. But I want to share this with you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click the link below to join our free Facebook group. But you shouldn't be making money, in my opinion, only by selling your time for money. You should have multiple income streams. You should have a core offer, you should have training, and you should have products. And those should be in alignment with each other. It shouldn't be to serve all these different audiences. It should be you have one avatar and you have multiple ways that serve them based on where they're at in their journey. And you have a roadmap that serves them at different levels, at different capacities to achieve specific goals. And when you do this right, you can have a lean and mean team while producing 6 figures a month and still have plenty of time as the owner to have the business kind of running itself, so that you get to spend your time however you see fit. And how most of our clients really optimize their schedules is, one, well, how do I spend more time in the business on the things that I want to be spending more time on? For me, that is creating training like, the stuff that I was just taking you through for our clients, creating pre-packaged solutions so they don't need to start things from scratch. That's my genius. I want the business running smoothly so I can do more of that. But I also want time to do stuff outside of the business, spend time with my family. I want to have my business run a certain way so that I can do things I enjoy outside of work. That's what an alt agency is all about. So I say all that because we're looking for 5 people that want to bolt on a new offer that is more leveraged, predictable, and profitable, that gets them paid for their thinking in the next 30, 60, 90 days, and then work with us over the course of 12 months to scale that up to a 6-figure income stream. If that is you, I'm going to put a link in the comments section for you to book a call with our team. Only book a call if you are already doing above 10K a month and you have expertise that you are confident can be turned into a consulting offer or training that is not just your labor, which means you probably have experience delivering something already to an already identified avatar. If that's you, you're going to book a call, fill out a short application. If you qualify in that application, we're going to hop on the call. We'll look at your business, what's working, what's not. We'll see if we can help. And if we can, we'll break down how the Academy program works. And we'll literally show you the step-by-step roadmap that we will work on with you, holding your hand through this process to hit that goal in the next 12 months. If that sounds good, check out the link in the description below. Book that call. We hope to chat with you soon. Until next time, peace.